Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Let's kick our own butts. Oh, my goodness. Did she really say that? Did she really say kick your own butt? Is she being insensitive? Is she being politically incorrect? Probably. But I got to tell you, these are tough times. People are hurting. And you know what? I will cry with you. I will cuddle you. And then at some point, I'm going to say, come on now. Come on now. It's time to get up. And one of the people that said to me, come on, Trish, it's time to get up. Let's get this website going. Let's get this attitude going. Let's find that greatness within you to be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard, and well paid. That is one of my mentors, Pegine. And we are going to meet her right after this.
The strongest prison bars are in your head. Leaders and teams, it's time for a jailbreak.
My beautiful Pegine, welcome to the TV Shift and Lift Mindset Show.
Wow, I'm just so excited. That opening makes me feel alive and excited, and it makes me thrilled to be with you because you truly embody, let's break through the prison bars, let's expand ourselves, let's make ourselves feel bold, brave, seen and heard, and of course paid well. And I'm thrilled to be with you on Trish TV.
That's so good. So good. Now, for people who are wondering, what the heck? Peggy, tell us a bit about what you do for people now. And we're going to go back in time after that because you and I have a little bit in common and we both had to overcome restrictions. But just to give people an idea of how you help business people these days.
So I work with corporations, associations, and as well as many military on the areas of being powerful, being you, and mastering being called to lead. So I speak on leadership, confidence in leadership, the ability to have presence in leadership so you can influence, inspire, and create some great opportunities for the people that you lead. And I do it in a way that really resonates with my people. So of course there's content, but there's also comedy, and there's interaction, and there's camaraderie, and there is a sense of, well, charisma that enables people to stay connected and be able to talk about things that are really hard to talk about, but they're laughing so hard sometimes that they go, oh, that's me. And everybody says, we know. And really, that's about transformational change. So that's what I do with companies. And I work with 15% of the Fortune 50 are my recurring clients. 10% of direct sales worldwide companies are my clients, as well as all the United States branches of the military and 21 allies who have gone through some of my leadership training, including Australia.
Yes, well, that's awesome. So, and that's quite a variety because I know you've worked with the Army, and I saw you on YouTube, but because we're not traveling right now, but not very long ago, you actually presented as the top keynote speaker for Avon worldwide.
That's right.
And so you've got the Army, you've got government, you've got Avon, which I love. So there's that great variety, but it's not just about the keynote speeches. It is about that one-on-one coaching as well, where
for sure,
because a speech is transforming. It is, but when you can work one-on-one or with in a smaller group in a corporation, that's when you can give people, that's when they can ask questions and you can help them to implement and make changes.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things that, so my company is varied because of who I serve. So I primarily focused on women leaders who I call Jedis, women who are called to lead, women who, keep on raising their hand. And I work with men who are doing the same thing, but also are looking to ensure that their co-leaders, their teams reflect both women and men. So I work with both of them. And I do, I do coaching, I do mastermind groups, I create events because everybody has a need to be connected with someone that truly sees their magnificence, truly
Yes.
sees them as this gem, and honestly, that loves them so much that we're willing to tell, like, hello, we need to kick your own butt, because I wrote the book, Sometimes You Need to Kick Your Own Butt. And hello, when we're playing small, when we're diminishing the blessings that we have inside, when we're not stepping into our space. And the reason I work with Jedis is I don't work with everybody. I really, truly attract those who know that they have no choice but to lead in business, to lead. They keep on raising their hand. They keep on showing up their whole life from the time they've been little. And those individuals not only want to lead, they want to lead well. They want to lead with passion. They want to lead with clarity. They want to lead with purpose, and they want to lead so that the people that they lead feel amazing.
Love
And
that.
that's critical.
I love that. So, Pegine, what would be, because humans are humans, and you're talking about leadership, you're talking about empowering women to step up and equipping men to draw out the resource that are women, because you don't want to have 50% of your potential talent, your pool, not stepping up,
Right.
because they'll be invited to. This is the Shift and Lift Mindset Show. And it's where, I had that revelation that I need to shift and lift the way I think, which is why I have you as one of my mentors. And there's been a journey of going through that to be this confident, amazing woman that I am on Trish TV. Not that I'm going to be a mini Pegine, but to be myself.
Absolutely.
What would be the most common barrier, mindset, doubt, handicap? What's the thing that you most have to call out with people in order to get them to lift and have the confidence to lift up?
Great question. So I will tell you, I'm getting so eager, I'm coming close.
That's all right.
So the one of many, but the thing that comes up a lot is made up rules. So
Hold on. Say that again.
So one of the main things that I see is that people make up rules.
Made up rules.
Exactly.
Wow. Tell us about
So
that.
they make up rules about, well, I can't do that because I'm this. I can't go in and ask him. I'm not at that level. I can't. Uh, I, I I'm supposed to be at home knitting because I have silver hair and I wear glasses. I look like Mrs. Santa Claus. I'm supposed to be baking, and yet I want to run a company. I want to grow. I want to do all these, but these rules impact us, and those rules are sometimes society rules. Those rules, but we make them bigger. I mean, we make them thicker. There's a story about elephants. So elephants, are massive. And one of the ways that they train them is they put a big chain around an elephant's leg when they're babies. And they tap it in, right? And the elephant gets used to this chain. They get used to this chain. And because they're baby elephants, the chain is bigger than their leg. And what happens over time is that chain really becomes smaller because they're getting bigger. But the rule in their mind is I can't break that chain. Well, the truth is we do the same thing.
We do.
We make up these rules that say, well, if I get this all the time. Well, Pegine, it's so much easier for you because if you knew where I came from, then you would know that that just doesn't happen. And I just smile and chuckle, right? Or that they'll say, um, you will, it's different for you because you're loud. They're out there. Well, all of those things of confidence and being bold have been things that have been trained to. I've had to break those rules. Being a rebel in your life is rebelling against the rules that you created to hold yourself back, or that you decided that somebody else was more powerful. And that somebody can be your parents, right? But when you hit 18, girl, you are on your own. This is your life now. You need to recognize that if you have this calling, you need to change so you can be your highest self. Or maybe that it's from a management, a bad boss. Well, they don't even know that they're a bad boss, but saying, oh, you couldn't get that job. You don't have a bachelor's degree. You don't have the training. And yet you get another person in that same position who sees your magnificence and say, why haven't you applied? And we go like a little dog. Well, they said that I shouldn't apply, and they said I shouldn't ask for it, and when those are all made up rules.
They really are, and this is what gets to me, that why do we need someone else's permission? Why do we wait? And this has been me. You're waiting for someone else to give you approval to say you can do this.
Thank you. So yes, that is one of the things that people, because we don't trust ourselves. So what's really fascinating, and let's talk about trust, because I think it's really important that people understand how important it is to trust yourself and to trust the processes that are out there that have been used over centuries to build confidence in yourself, belief in who you are, and the ability to do what you want to do, what you dream of. So if I go back to that, there are a couple of really important things that people need to do that I believe let me change that. I know that I've done it, and it's what I do on a daily basis because I'm human, and it's what I teach others. The challenge is that a lot of people hear the lesson but don't apply the lesson. So let me give you an example, if I may. So, for instance, in my mornings that I wake up, I am the first thing that I do is I write my gratitudes. So I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful, and I make a commitment to write 10 things I'm grateful for. That I'm grateful for being alive, for breathing, for seeing, and it'll go on. And sometimes I do way more than 10. And sometimes I'm crying, oh, I'm so grateful for my family. Sometimes I hit my core, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to get through this process. But you want to write your gratitudes. The second thing that you want to be able to do is you write a declaration statement about what you plan on achieving in your life. What is it that you're planning to achieve in this year? By this date, I plan on having this done. And in exchange for that, I'm going to do the following things. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can do that declaration. There, Think and Grow Rich shares some. There's lots of different ways that you could write your affirmation, or it's a declaration really about what you are. The third thing that you do is you have to quiet your mind. And quiet your mind means that you have to spend time to really close your eyes and not think. So that's when you focus on maybe the air conditioner sound, or maybe you have a clock that ticks, and you're just going to focus on that sound to clear your mind so that you can be open to receive what you truly want in your life. Insights, wisdom, guidance, the lights of where you're supposed to land. It's a way for you to receive the intuition of your next right steps.
Wow.
The next thing that you is part of your journal. Writing a journal is really, really important because you're going to learn a couple of things. If you're writing your journal, and you might be, which I did early on. I mean, I don't come from an easy life. So yeah, early on, I was like, oh, they did this to me, and this was happening to me, and look at this, and my life, woe me. And I, writing that. But because I did the other things, my mind started shifting. I started changing. I started recognizing, because I had done the other steps, recognizing, wow, that things are really working out for me. Things are opening up for me. I'm having new opportunities. I'm seeing new things. I'm seeing new ways of being. So that's a morning process that's really important. I also, and I write my own songs. I have people sing the songs for me so that I'm listening. I put my headphone on so I could be singing the songs that lift me up about me. So I don't know why everybody doesn't write their own song. I think it's really important. So it
Well,
started when I'll tell that it started when I was a teenager. So, Trish, I came from break out the violin, everybody, because, the drug abusing dad, my sister was overdosed from, was a heroin junkie, and she overdosed from that. Mom was working 3 jobs. She had to go back to school. She changed life, but she was busy. Me, on the other hand, was getting angry and upset. I didn't attend a lot of my middle school or junior high school, or whatever you call it in your country, that age from 12 to 15, 13, 15, whatever that school age. I didn't attend a lot. I didn't attend a lot. So I cannot do multiplication tables. I can't do a lot of stuff because I was in school a lot. I was a truant. Went to high school, got kicked out of my first high school, just eat by in the second high school, and then got involved with a girls gang at that point. And when I was 17 years old, I was standing on the front of Jack's Candy Store, and I had a bandana on my head, my long hair from the Bronx, with chains on my jacket, looking like red. You've seen them in the movies. And while I looked at that way internally, what I was saying was, there has got to be a better way. There just has to be a better way. And
wow.
truly received a vision of of a talking head. I saw myself being like on TV, and I didn't understand what it was. And it's really funny, every time I see this square that I'm in, that you're looking at, that was my vision back then. And I didn't know what it meant. I just knew it was a sign for me to leave and to go off and to work on it. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We all have those signs. What I recognize is, a lot of times people don't act on the signs. I believe that if you're feeling sad, upset, angry, resentful, vulnerable, defensive, if you're feeling those, it's a sign of 2 things. One, you're not thinking straight, because the universe, God, the entity, only loves you. And so if you're having negative emotion and really negative stuff, usually it's because you're thinking stuff that is not in alignment with how the world really thinks of you, how the goodness really thinks of you. So you have to sit back, do that writing, and say, all right, what's the opposite of what I'm thinking? If I think I suck, I need to change the opposite to I'm amazing. Yeah. I'm amazing. I'm great. I'm wonderful. I love you. You said something earlier.
Yeah.
You said earlier about the concept of, that you need, that sometimes we're looking for affirmations from outside
Yeah.
and an outside love. I think the greatest gift that everybody could give themselves is to fall in love with yourself. And it's rare that people take the time to really romance and fall in love with yourself. And that means, like, I just bought myself 2 dozen roses. I don't need to wait for anybody to buy me roses because I'll be waiting forever. I'll go and order, I'll get 2 dozen roses from me
Mm-hmm.
with a card that says, I love you. I send myself cards. You know, everybody knows that I don't send cards to anybody else, but I'll send myself cards.
Yeah.
I'll forget that I sent them, right? Um, and then, that sometimes I write really awesome letters to myself. Dear Pegine, and I speak to me the way I would speak to my daughter or the way I would speak to my son.
Wow.
And what we do is we spend a lot of time doing that for everybody else. We spend very little time doing it for ourselves. And that's probably one of the most powerful things you can do is fall in love with yourself.
Right. I want to jump in there with the transition. You're a teenager with a difficult family life, full of that self loathing, that lack of confidence, and the anger, and all those negative emotions. And it's easier said than done to do that shift.
Mm.
And some of us have had maybe a youth group leader speak into our life. For someone else, it might be someone who's offered us a casual job and they speak into our life. And sometimes there's nobody. And it might just be someone who happens to come across this video, and they might be a 40-year-old man in a 15, like, that's really feels 15 and scared on the inside, like everything's just, and they've believed the lies for so long. That transition, I want to give people hope that it's like you said earlier about, oh, that's okay for you, that's your circumstances. But everybody's circumstances, they might be different, but the strongest prison bars are in our head. Mine was a real prison that ended up in my head. Yours was being on the streets. The transition is more than those cliches, isn't it? And back then when you were 15, 16, you didn't know to write in a journal and I'm going to start loving myself. Give me something about transitioning to that self-love, like some,
So for
so we
me,
can believe that we can actually do that.
I'm going to give 2 things because I'm really glad that you spoke about the guy that's 40 years old. You know, falling in love with yourself, growing yourself doesn't just happen once. It's an ongoing work in progress. And I'll give you an example if I can. An older, me older. So 2019, um, if you haven't noticed, I'm not a teeny tiny little thing. And in 2019, I went to the doctor. Now, I know that I know that I was overeating, that I was an overeater. I know that because I could see how many times would I be around somebody and they would eat and then they'd like, okay, I'm stuffed and put away. And I'd be looking at them saying, girl, I'm just starting. What do you mean you're stuffed? And, so I, well, I've been really public about it. So I grew and grew and grew and grew and grew to over 200 pounds. And I don't know what that is in Australian weight
It's
but
okay.
it was big. I was a big girl. I was a big girl. And one of the things that I had to come to terms was, and I really would ask, please help me, please help me, please help me, please help me, please help me. But I wasn't listening to the messages that I was getting, which was, go ask for help here, go ask for help, not investing in those weight loss programs. I was really looking to change my life. And so in 2019, right, I was diagnosed with diabetes, and that began a search for me of, oh my gosh, my father-in-law lost both his legs from diabetes and died. That's
Wow.
not what I want for my, I don't want that. I don't want that. So I went on a big search, huge search of how can I avoid medication? How can I change my life? Which led me then to making some very significant changes. First being, I stopped all sugar. I just stopped all
Wow.
sugar. The second thing that I did was, after doing a lot of research, I stopped eating all animal products. No eggs, no nut, no chicken, no fish, no honey, nothing. Any, if it comes from an animal, it's not coming into my body. So that was in 2019, and I went from, well, if you're diabetic, you'll understand. I went from 316 of my blood, which is crazy. I was a 13.5 A1C, which is really crazy.
Okay.
And I dropped down to 5.1 A1C just by changing that food. And then 4 months ago, I learned, oh my gosh, things still weren't moving the right. Things were moving, but they were moving really slowly, and things were moving, but still not moving. And then I found out that I'm allergic, or not change it. I'm not allergic. I'm addicted to starches and to grains. So I had to stop sugar, grains, and starches, and no alcohol. Because it turns out, you want to know something fascinating, Trish? I did not know this, but do you know that grains and starches and sugars turn into alcohol in your body? I didn't
Oh,
know that.
without the fun.
Well, but I didn't know that. I mean, I had no
Mm.
idea. And so the quantities that I was using was like, I was drunk, which I grew up with a drunk. I know what that's like, and hell no. So, you know, here I am years later on another transformational change. I will tell you all that I am off all medication because of it. I've
Wow.
lost 50 pounds because of it. My A1C is down to 5.7. My doctor is like amazed. My blood is perfect. Um, and I'm keeping on. But I'm not looking for applause. What I'm looking for, I want to educate, is that transformation always happens. If I, so I learned to love myself. I have to write the letters. I have to do what I told you. I do it every day. I do follow the Jabez prayer, and I teach it to everybody, because it ain't over until it's over. And so your job, and I'm talking to you, listener, you who are watching, your job is to uncover your true magnificence. We all come in this world as pieces of coal, rocks. It is up to us to begin to scrape and grind down that dirt and the smudge and all that stuff, and polish and cut and shine, so that we show ourselves as diamonds and sapphires and emeralds and rubies, that we show our magnificent. But it takes us to do the grinding down. It takes us to do the constant polishing. It takes us to do the constant caring of our mind, because our mind, our body, our soul is critically important to our thriving and our success.
So brilliant. Oh, Pegine, what a lot of gold we have here. We've had a comment come through from Michelle Pascoe. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. That you write your own songs and have someone sing them for you to listen. And I've
Yeah.
heard them, and you're using those with your presentations and so on. That's just brilliant. And look, Pegine is a world class presenter and trainer and coach and all of those things. And what I do want to do is make sure that you know where to find her. Pegine, this is Pegine's website, pegine.com. Now, note the spelling that is her. Hang on, I'll go back. Pegine. So Oh, I'm so glad you've enjoyed this, Michelle. It's lovely to have you watching. And there's other people watching, but not everybody comments. So that's all right. That's good. Comment if you'd like to. So Pegine's website, explore this website. Be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard. And you can find out more about what Pegine can do for you, your meeting planners, more than talk. And it's about leading. She is very exciting to watch and to get from. Now, if you would like to experience Pegine on a daily basis, you can go to pegine.club, the Pegine Club. Now, if you go pegine.club, you will get, and it's for the price of a coffee, well, maybe a coffee in Sydney, but a price of a coffee, you can, and that's one per month, you'll get a daily dose of just a few minutes of a spark that you can listen to right into your inbox. Is that how that goes, Pegine?
That's right. You get it. It's just like it's a private podcast. So it's an audio that they're no more than 3 to 5 minutes, but it's all about you, for your confidence, your leadership, you in selling yourself, you in ensuring that you are thriving. And this is really what we're talking about earlier, is everybody needs to be pumped. Everybody needs that. And if you deny it from yourself, if you deny the pump for yourself, you're really not polishing and shining your gem.
You need it daily. It's like having a shower. And this is an audio. So you can listen to it in the car when you're traveling, put your iPods in your ears, and you can listen to it and get that boost every day. In addition to that, you have an event coming up. Now, this one is for women, fellas, so send your ladies along. But the Power Women Gathering, you have a Power Women Gathering. Tell us about that quickly.
So the Power Women Gathering is designed for women experts, speakers, and authorities who are compelled to share around the world their brilliance. And what's really important about this is I really want you to be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard, and be paid well. We have a keynote speaker. Her name is Crystal Washington. This is the first time it's being heard, who's a international speaker on futurism, the future. And it's 3 full days of content, laughter, growth, camaraderie, community. But most importantly, it's about you and your future, because this world needs women who are called to speak, and called to lead in their industries. So fabulous. I hope you come and join us.
Now, after this, I'll be putting the links for what we're visiting in the chat. So, and then you have a book out called Called to Lead. So that is, Google that, Called to Lead, Success Strategies for Women. That is on Kindle. It's on wherever you buy your books. And look, it has been an absolute thrill talking with you, Pegine, and hearing your magnificence to bring out my magnificence and that of people who are watching. It does not matter where you come from. The strongest prison bars are in your head. And my goodness, it is time for a jailbreak. Pegine, thank you so much for being on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you and all that you've done. And for everybody watching, really subscribe. If you're watching, you subscribe to Trish's channel. Ensure that you set the time so that you get this when it's airing, because she's bringing people that are truly inspiring and making a difference in my life and in yours.